Grey Owl was one of the first people in the world to speak about this thing. He said something new and important. For years in the 1930s, Grey Owl traveled and spoke to large audiences. He was famous around the world. His trip in 1937 was his second tour of Britain as a speaker. He even met the king and queen in the Buckingham Palace. His message was also on the very page of his book. But what did people know about this name? He would describe his parents in this way. His father was from Scotland. His mother was an Apache Indian from the New Mexico. In the southwest of the United States. He spent part of his early life in Mexico. It was an exactly story, but the real story of Grey Owl was more interesting than this. Grey Owl had a secret. The secret uncovered. Grey Owl looked and acted like an Indian, but there were questions about him. How could he write English so well? Did another person write his books for him? Then people hear him speak. Grey Owl clearly wrote the books. His English was excellent. But how did he learn to speak language so well? Grey Owl continued to speak crows in Britain and North America. On March 29, 1938, he had his last talk. It was in Regina, Canada. Then he went back to his home. He was very tired after all the travel and hard work. He arrived home on April 7. 3 days later, he cried for help. He was not feeling well. He was taken to hospital quickly, but he died a few days later. Nobody knows the reason for that. Was it too much hard work and travel, or was he tired of living with a secret for so long? After he died, there was a story in a small Canadian newspaper, Norby Nuggets. Grey owls had no Indian blood at all. His real name was Archibald or Archie Balenay. He was born in Hastings, England in 1888. His mother Katie Balenay and father George Balenay were born British. He grew up in a town in the south of England. He went to a good school. Of course, some people in Canada already knows Archie Balenay's secret. They know him before he was Grey Owl in the rest of the world. People could not believe this news, but the Norby's knock could prove its story. It was true. Grey Owl, the most famous Indian in the world, was not an American Indian. How could this happen? What was so different about this young British boy? How did he become the famous Indian called